Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to be looking at Group D of the World Cup in Qatar this year. Now, we have previewed all of the other groups up to Group D. So today is Group D's turn, and make sure you go check out the other ones if you have not done so already. But yeah, we're just going to have a little look a bit more deeper into each team and have a look at their squad, their manager, their recent performances, etc. Make sure you do leave a like and consider subscribing as well. I'm not sure what time you're going to see this, but we are closing in on 1k at the time of recording. Maybe we would have hit it by the time you're seeing this, but yeah, hopefully you guys do enjoy, and let's get into it. So in Group D we have France, Australia, Denmark and Tunisia. So we will start with France. So France were the pot 1 team. They are of course from the UEFA Confederation. Now they qualified through Group D of the European qualification. They topped it. They finished with 18 points, 5 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses, ahead of Ukraine, Finland, Bosnia and Kazakhstan. Now, they've actually appeared in 16 World Cups, which is very impressive. Their last appearance was in 2018, which was of course when they won it, and they have won it 2 times, 2018 and 1998. And as of the March 2022 FIFA rankings, they ranked 3rd in the world. So France are of course one of the biggest national teams in the world. They are one of the best teams in the world and a lot of people's favourites to potentially retain the trophy. They are managed by Didier Deschamps. I believe he's been their manager for quite a while now. He's been the manager since the Euros of what year was it where they got to the final? It must have been 2016, yeah, Euro 2016. So about 6 years now. This is another tournament he will manage for them. If we have a look at their recent results as of recording, because I'm actually recording this during an international break, so they would have definitely, by the time I've seen this, they would have played Austria and Denmark. Interestingly, Denmark are in their group, so that'll be very interesting to see who wins that game. But of course you will know, but before that, they've not actually been in very good form. They've been in really bad form, to be fair, at least in the Nations League. So they lost to Croatia in the Nations League, drew to Austria 1-1, then drew to Croatia 1-1, and they lost to Denmark 2-1. These are all in the Nations League, so not having a good time there. If we look at their squad, however, though, I mean, it's quite incredible. I'm not going to name all of the players because we would be here for days. Their team is just stacked to the brim. But in terms of the most capped player who still gets called up and will be at the World Cup is Hugo Lloris, the captain, with 139 caps. He's actually the second highest capped player in French history, and he's only 3 behind Lilian Thuram, so I fully expect him to actually become France's most capped player ever. And their highest goal scorer who will be at the World Cup is Olivier Giroud, and similarly to Lloris, he's only 3 goals away from matching Thierry Henry as the all-time French top goal scorer. He's second with 48 goals. So maybe at this World Cup we might see Giroud and Lloris break records. But yeah, their team is just so stacked. They've got, the main ones are Benzema, Kante, Pogba, Kylian Mbappe, of course, Ousmane Dembele, Antoine Griezmann, Upamecano, Rafa Varane, Lucas Hernandez, Theo Hernandez, Konate. I could just go on and on. They've got so many talented players, and of course, as I said, they are the current champions, having won the competition in 2018. In that competition in 2018, they won 6 games and only drew 1 game. I think that was in their group, and funny enough, that was against Denmark, I believe, who are also in their group, and I think we move on to Denmark. So Denmark were the pot 2 team. Like France, they are from UEFA. Now they qualified through Group F. They also topped their group, ahead of Scotland, Israel, Austria, Faroe Islands and Moldova. Now Denmark won 9 out of 10 games and only lost 1 game, so they had a fantastic qualification. They've been at 6 World Cups. Their last appearance 2018, and their best is the quarterfinals. That was in 1998. And as of the March FIFA rankings, they were 11th in the world. So if we look at their manager, they're currently managed by Kasper Hjulmand. I'm very sorry if you're Danish. I completely butchered that name. But yeah, they're managed by him. Their recent results have been very good, to be fair, as a recording, of course. So they beat Austria 2-0. They did lose to Croatia 1-0, but they did beat Austria 2-1. As I mentioned before, beat France 2-1. Beat beat Serbia 3-0. So they're in pretty good form as of late. That's also backed up, by their performance at the last Euros. They got to the semi-finals of the Euros, which I don't think many people expected, and only got knocked out in extra time to England, so they're very close to go to a Euro final, so they're definitely a team to watch out for. In their current squad, the most capped player is Simon Kjær, who is the captain with 119 caps for the national team, making him the 3rd most capped player of all time for Denmark, closely followed by Christian Eriksen with 115 caps. And Christian Eriksen is the highest goal scorer who is still playing for them. He's 5th all-time goal scorer for Denmark with 38 goals for the national team. If we look at, other notable players, there are quite a few. We've got the likes of Kasper Schmeichel, Angeles Christensen, Joachim Andersen, Thomas Delaney, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Martin Braithwaite, Kasper Dolberg, Mikkel Damsgaard, Josef Poulsen, Christian Norgard. They've got a lot of well-known players, quite a few players playing in England, a lot of players playing in Germany as well, and their squad is got a mix of ages, to be fair. They've got quite a few experienced players in their 30s, but they've got a lot of players in their mid-20s as well, so it's going to be interesting where this team goes in the future. At the last World Cup in 2018, they were eliminated in the round of 16. going to say I can't quite remember who they got eliminated by, but I do remember now. It was Croatia who got to the final, and I think it was only on penalties, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, they've been doing very well as of recently, Denmark, and hopefully they can have a good tournament. Next we'll go to Australia. So they were the top 4 team. They are from the Asian Football Confederation. Now, the way they qualified, I mean, it's a little bit complicated, but basically, so in the Asian qualifying, they finished second, I believe. So they had to play the UAE over 2 legs. They beat the UAE 2-1. So because they beat them, they went through to play Peru. And if they had beat Peru, whoever won that game would go through to the World Cup. That's just a very simple version of it. And they actually, it was 0-0 and they won 5-4 on penalties. So that's pretty impressive. Australia just about qualified. They've been at 6 World Cups. Last appearance was in 2018, and their best performance was actually they got to the round of 16 in 2006. Let's have a look at the team and the staff. So they're currently managed by Graham Arnold. Their most recent results as of recording, well, it was the Peru game and the UAE game, but besides that, they beat Jordan 2-1, they did lose to Saudi Arabia 1-0 and Japan 2-0, and then drew to Oman 2-2, but did beat Vietnam 4-0. These were all in qualification. They didn't have the best qualification. They also drew to China, lost to Japan again, drew to Saudi Arabia. So, based on the results, I don't know too much about Australia, but it doesn't seem like they're in the greatest of form and best of strengths as in previous years. But let's have a little bit more of a deeper look into the team. So the most capped player who will be at the World Cup is Matthew Ryan. 74 caps, and he is the captain of Australia. The most goals scored by someone who is still getting called up is Matthew Leckie, with 13 goals in 71 games. So, well, I guess that kind of tells you what's happened to this team. They might have been struggling because, well, it seems like he is the main talisman. Players who I know, obviously know Matty Ryan, Bailey Wright, he plays for Sunderland, I do know of him. Aaron Moy, I know him from his time at Huddersfield. Ashton Hrustick plays him for Eintracht Frankfurt. Matthew Leckie, as I mentioned. Martin Boyle playing for Hibs. Harry Suter, Callum Elder, I know these two. Kenny Dougal. But yeah, Daniel Azzani, I don't really know too many of their players. It seems like most of the players, a lot of the players play in Australia, quite a few play in Scotland, and with a few in the Football League of England, and then quite a lot just scattered around Europe. So that, I hate to be super critical, but they don't necessarily seem to, be like what they once were, where we had players like Cahill, Jedinak, Schwarzer, these guys playing in the big leagues. I don't think there's anyone playing in the Premier League actually who's Australian, to be fair. So, it sounds like I'm being super negative, but if we do have a look at the last World Cup, their performance They were in a hard group, but they did manage. They didn't win a game, but they got a draw. And I do remember they gave France a really, really hard game. Actually, one of France's hardest games. So, maybe they could do something. And as you could probably tell, if you don't remember, this group is really weird because France, Australia, and Denmark were in the same group last World Cups, and they're in the same group again. Peru was in the group last time, but the fourth team this time is Tunisia, who we will move on to. So they were a pot 3 team. They qualified through the CONCACAF, so they got to the third round and they played a 2-legged tie against Mali. They beat them 1-0 on aggregate, so that is how they've qualified. And I've just completely closed the tab, did not mean to do that. Okay, there we go. So we've been at 6 World Cups. The last appearance was at 2018. Their best is the group stages. They've never got into the round of 16. And the March 2022 FIFA rankings, they were 35th. So if we look at the team and the staff, they're managed by Jalal Kadli. I think that's how you say it. Their recent form as of recording is, wow, it's actually very good, to be fair to them. Their last result was a 3-0 win against Japan. Sorry, just had to take some of my water there. Yeah, they beat Japan 3-0 and they beat Chile 2-0 in the 2022 Kirin Cup Soccer. I don't know what this is, but it appears that they won it. They beat Chile in the semi-finals and beat Japan in the final, so I don't know if there's any Tunisians watching, please let me know, because I've never heard about this. But yeah, they what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. The last 6 games they haven't lost as of recording. Although they do have to play Brazil in this upcoming international break, so I'm sure that might change. Let's have a little look at the team then. So the most capped player who is still playing is Youssef Moussakani, who is the captain. He's got 85 caps to his name. The top goal scorer who's still playing is Wahib Kazli, with 24 goals. The second all-time Tunisian top goal scorer. He is one of the main people I know from this team. Currently playing in Ligue 1. If I look at other players I might know, I know Jan Valery, formerly of Southampton. Omar Rekik, I know about him. Other players who I know, I think that's it. Yeah, that is it, to be honest. Most of these players are like dotted around, I guess, random places. Oh, Hannibal Mejbri, I know about him. Most of these players are dotted around a lot of random places. There's quite a few players who are in the Tunisian league, but then you got players playing in the Saudi league, the Qatar league, in Egypt, Switzerland, Denmark. So they're really all over the place in terms of their players and where they are. The last World Cup, they actually won a game. They were in England's group, I believe, and I think that was like that was a 1-0 win, wasn't it? And it was like a late goal, so they are pretty decent side. We won the AFCON in 2011, so that wasn't too long ago now. So yeah, they might be able to do something, but there we have it. That's the preview. If we look at the actual group and the games, I think the best game of this group is definitely going to be Denmark, France. They seem to have been playing each other, quite a lot recently, obviously being in each other's Nations League group and in their group stage at the World Cup last season as well. So I think Denmark in a lot better state than they were the last World Cup. And France, you could argue, are in a little bit of a worse state, at least in terms of form. So I think this game is going to be a huge game and definitely one to watch out for. I really do like this group. I'm not going to give my predictions on who I think is going through, but yeah, let me know in the comments below. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.